But this is about none of those issues. So here's her question. The Federalist Society and the Judicial Crisis Network have effectively bought our Supreme Court. Will you support expanding seats on SCOTUS in federal courts to addressing conflicts of interest and/or term limits? How far will you go to ensure the Supreme Court is fair to everyday Americans?
Yes. So the first thing I would push for is 18-year term limits for Supreme Court justices in particular and federal judges in general. Because to me, it is irrational that we're freaking out about the health of an 85-year-old justice. You know, it's like, oh no, did she get a cold? Like, if she got a cold, then we're all sunk. You know, and then you reflect on that for a moment, and you're like, wait a minute, like, why am I freaking out about the fact that Ruth Bader Ginsburg might have a cold? And the reason is that we have these lifetime appointments, and that has been one of the contributing factors in making each appointment like this firestorm, because you feel like if they appoint this man or woman to the court, you're also looking at their age, being like, ooh, how long are they going to be alive for? You know, it's like, oh, this is going to be with us for 25, 30 years. And so if you had 18-year appointments, which is what I'm pushing for, then it becomes more rational, more predictable. You have like a new appointment every couple of years, and then if you lose an election, you're like, okay, they get 2 appointments, instead of it being arbitrary based upon the health of the justices or the federal judges. Now, in addition to that change, I would be willing to at least consider expanding the number of justices, which, as Larry knows, is not set in the Constitution. And I thought that it was deeply unprincipled what the Republicans did to Merrick Garland, where there's nothing that says in the last year, like, the president can't appoint someone. And the fact that they were rewarded for what I saw as deeply unprincipled behavior is very, very problematic. And I would be open to any means under the sun to try and balance that on the court.
Yeah, so let's talk about specifics. So Germany has a great constitutional court. It actually has about, I can't remember if it's like 17 justices, but they sit in 2 separate panels. And so you could imagine increasing in a substantial way. Obviously, you wouldn't say one party gets to appoint all the new justices. You'd have to make it fair so Americans thought it was fair. But you could get a much more regular turnover, which is, I think, the objective you have. Because in Germany, it's never an issue when a justice steps down, because they know it's not going to matter that much. There's enough built into the system, enough of a buffer that the political system can handle it. So would you think of something that big?
Yeah, I would. You know, I think expanding the number up from 9 would contribute in that direction. Plus, you know what would be super happy about this? Every law school student, because they'd be like, wow, the number of Supreme Court clerkships just went up. Oh, he's laughing because he knows it's funny.